Hello everybody, my name is Chris and this will be my review for the Thanksgiving movie. Now, I just got done watching the latest horror movie, Thanksgiving, and with this movie based on the turkey holiday, we follow a small town in Pilgrim, Massachusetts, a year after a pretty bloody Black Friday, inspiring someone to dress up as young cover to the pilgrim and get revenge for the lives they were lost in that fateful day. Now, in terms of the holiday theme on this movie, I think every holiday deserves like a horror movie to go with it. We got a bunch of Christmas horror movie. Most of them are not good. And we also have, of course, the Halloween franchise, taking advantage of the Halloween season and other films. But I thought Thanksgiving didn't really have like a movie that stood alongside it. So with Eli Roth Thanksgiving, it was a real shot to be the definitive horror movie for the Thanksgiving holiday. And I think the inception of the movie is pretty interesting. Originally started as a fake trailer in 2007, Greenhouse, and now 16 years later, Eli Roth gets to turn that show he once directed into an actual feature-length movie. And as a big slasher fan, finally having sat down and watched this movie, it feels like it was made exactly for me. Oh, I had a great tasty time watching this movie. And I'm so happy that this movie exists for a multitude of reasons. But first, this movie could have honestly have existed years ago. This Thanksgiving movie does really nothing like to reinvent the wheel, do anything different, subvert the genre, be something completely different for a slasher film of anything. It takes all of those tropes you will expect from a slasher movie and just executes them all very well. The only real difference is this movie will have, if was made like 10 to 15 years ago, because for some reason back then critics just didn't enjoy a typical good slasher. Some of my favorite modern slasher I grew up with, it just like had the most terrible reviews score, and you would think like the worst horror movie ever made. But now we are shifted from that and we are willing to accept a slasher movie that is trying to do nothing more than just entertain you and to have a good time. And that's honestly what Eli Roth Thanksgiving movie does. Now, I know there's not a lot of Eli Roth lovers or fans out there, and looking on his filmography, I can kind of understand that. He has made a handful of movies, but just a couple of them that I really quite enjoy, like Dead Wish was a pretty good movie. But Thanksgiving, this is a movie I could see like has seen like 10 to 15 years ago. A studio demanded like a PG-13 rated so they can trick a bunch of teenagers and high schoolers to see this movie, and will have just had a much less entertaining value to it. But you add like all the elements that Eli Roth brings to a film like this, who is a giant fan of horror, knows the world very well, and fully understand and embrace like the slasher genre. Heck, even just the opening sequence before the title comes up, it was just something that put a smile on my face as a horror fan, and kind of made me want to clap. Other reservations about this movie before it was being released that I have is like some of the cast in here, cause you have a TikTok star Addison Rae, and I'm going to say that she did perfectly fine in this movie. Now, she's not the main character in this movie at all. She's like a secondary supporting character. But every time Addison Rae she was on screen, or she served her part very well, and I enjoy all of the cast members here. While some of them are really made to be annoying, there's actually a great dynamic between them. They almost gave me like a Scream vibes, and kind of like the water fountain scene in the first Scream movie, where they're just kind of interacting with each other and showing off their franchise and their personalities. Now, I had to say like the cliche thing of a slasher reminded me of a Scream, but there were definitely like some little bit of Scream elements in this movie. Now, another thing that I thought Thanksgiving did really well is literally play into his title and the theme of being a Thanksgiving related movie. It plays on the throw on Black Fridays, although they are nothing like what they are interpreted in this movie. Nowadays, I grew up on the days where you rush to the Thanksgiving dinner so you can be there like 6 p.m. in front of a Walmart for a crappy TV, and maybe that personal experience helped elevate the film for me a little bit, because I just remember those crazy Black Friday deals and watching the next day, or those fights online and police stopping people. They don't do Black Fridays like that anymore, right? But there's some commentary about in this movie. There, as well as the Thanksgiving holiday you saw in the trailer yourself, and the John Carver killer, in here the pilgrim, he's using Thanksgiving weapons, and there are so many not so subtle jokes about puns about Thanksgiving that happens throughout the course of the movie. There's like, you could tell the movie just having fun and is being silly. This is a Thanksgiving horror movie, yet at the same time it didn't take it too far into like the parody or just making fun of itself. You will still be able to take the story at least a little bit serious, because there is a mystery element trying to figure out who is this person behind the mask, who is going around as the pilgrim, and what's their motive. And not to kind of took my own home here, but I was able to guess who the killer was almost right away, just by focusing on those little details. And I know that other fans will catch it right away, but even with that though, the movie does play into, this person show up mysteriously, this person is wearing this kind of shoes, and it's again where it had that kind of a Scream SK favorite to it. And don't get your hopes up of that the review is going to be that mind-blowing, but it's still a fun one to follow. And I was also a really big fan of the way Eli Roth went about shooting the actual killer, and how much screen time we get with this penguin. Like, they will do some funny things with it. Sometimes a killer with a personality, and I feel like that helps differentiate from a lot of the other characters in films, like a silent stalker holding a weapon type of, and generally it was just I think they make the right choice creatively here in terms of this character and this killer. And I just have a great time with Thanksgiving. I think a lot of us was maybe expecting this movie to be crap, and even though I enjoy it as much, there were things about the movie as I was watching it that's just like typical common annoyance that happens with slasher movies. But even with that kind of a stuff, it's so nice to see other critics and audience members embrace this and realize, that you get in here, they're not trying to give you like the next masterpiece in horror movie, but it was just a movie to put a smile on your face and really entertain you. And I think this movie accomplished that. I think it's a really good horror movie, especially if you're going to see it now in over the Thanksgiving week. I think is like the great time to see it because of the theme of the movie. I think it plays that very well. So I think if you're willing to watch it, go and see it over the Thanksgiving week. And if not, I still recommend that you see the movie at some point. But if you're not willing to go on the week of Thanksgiving, I think that you can wait and then watch it on digital or rent it, buy it, or on streaming. It's just a really solid horror movie. And that's my review for Thanksgiving. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.